Welcome to Egberto Off the Record. Today, we are honored to have, first time on Substack Live with me is Cindy Hendrickson. Cindy Hendrickson is the leader, the organizer, the founder of Indivisible Kingwood. And what I want to talk about with Cindy today and with some of the actions that she's taken is lately I've been getting a whole lot of mail with people in despair. People thinking that the country is gone and that they can't do anything about it, etc. What I want to tell you is that we can. And luckily, I'm in a very red district, very red area. And I've watched, and it's mostly women. I'll just point it out blank. Mostly women taking the bull by the horns and saying, we are going to make a difference. We're going to go out and do it. And with me right now is Cindy Hendrickson. Cindy Hendrickson is the founder of Indivisible Kingwood. Thank you very much for being with me here, Cindy. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing okay. Egberto, how are you?
I am doing fine. Let me tell you, Cindy, I've been very impressed with the work you've been doing in our very red district here in Kingwood. And I feel, one of the reasons anytime you call, I just say, how high do you need me to jump? What do you need me to do? Is because it just warms the spirit that we have people out there that are willing to put their bodies on the line and get the job done. So tell me a little bit about how you got Indivisible Kingwood started and kind of encourage other folks to do the same.
Well, we started it during Trump 1.0, so in 2017. But of course, it was a much different time. We did some protests. We didn't have Dan Crenshaw. We had the illustrious Ted Poe. And so, we would go to his office. We'd protest here and there. We did a lot of postcards, thousands of postcards to our representatives. Well, I was in charge for a couple of years, and then I handed it off because things were not so awful, and we got Biden in. And so we were coasting a bit. No way did we really think that we were going to be where we are right now. Unfortunately, here we are. So I think it was in January, late January, maybe it was after the so-called inauguration. I realized that nobody in the neighborhood was doing anything, absolutely nothing. And everyone was pretty distraught. So I told my husband, it looks like I have to fire this group back up again. So I did. And first meeting, I think we had maybe 15 or 20 people, which was amazing. And that's pretty much how we run when we go to meetings every other week here in the neighborhood. And we have gotten a lot more folks involved by being out on the street corners because they see us and they say, oh, these people live in this neighborhood? We've had many come and join us just based on our neighborhood protesting, not the big national stuff, but just the stuff down here on the corner in front of Dan Crenshaw's office. So we do that weekly. And the reason we do this weekly is because we need the visibility. We need people to see we're out there. We're fighting. We're a bunch of old ladies. It is true. It is primarily women. We have maybe 3 guys that show up, but it's primarily a bunch of retired women.
Let me pause you a second there because you are correct that it's a bunch of retired women. You have the time, you have the resources to do it, and that's the reason why. But interestingly, I came out to visit with you all on Thursday, and there were 3 Gen Zs out there with you, which I found quite impressive. And they were just as active with you. In fact, one told me, my mother and I came out here and this guy lifted up his pistol for us to see.
It was a rifle.
A rifle.
It was a rifle. That was 2 weeks ago that occurred. So as a result of that little show of toxic masculinity and white supremacy, because that woman that you talked with is Latin American, Hispanic. All right. So we all have body cams now, but we do get stressed out. We do worry for our physical safety, but we thought, okay, we can't stop. So what's the best thing we can do? We get body cams. So, here, yeah. And I downloaded my videos yesterday and they're excellent. And this is a cheap little thing, $40. So a bunch of us have these now. We will continue to show up. We did a little protest. What is today? Monday.
Oh, wait. Don't talk about that one yet, Cindy. I want to get us there. Now, I want to say something beforehand, because I spoke to you the week of the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Murder of Charlie.
The murder of Charlie Kirk. And one of the things I remember you telling me, you don't know if the ladies are going to go out that week. And I didn't say anything, but my heart sank, because I was hoping that we would not allow an action, because that is what terrorism is all about. They want to change your behavior. So I didn't want to come out and say, guys, you got, that would be, but I felt a little drop in the heart. And then on Thursday, or a little before Thursday, you told me, the women are going to be back out again.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember, right, I told Neil Aquino, who has another action like yours on the other side of town, I said, I'm definitely going out there today as a just to support and say to all of you all, thank you, because it is something that has to be continuous, and it is something you guys are doing. So I went out there and just thanked all the women, because it was like, you guys are the ones that are going to make, that are going to really make that change happen. So kudos to you all. Now, before we get on to what you did this weekend, Cindy, this is a town that we worked with a couple of professors, etc., back in the days on something called Occupy, when they had the Occupy movement.
Right.
And we held Occupy for 52 consecutive weeks here in Kingwood on the weekends. And we would average probably 15 to 20 people each time, but we never amassed what you guys did. And that is when you had I don't think it was called No Kings. It was called something else that I don't remember what it was called.
No, we had No Kings, and we had over 600 people.
Over 700 people ultimately that you brought out, you and your team, your cohort, brought out in this area that had never, ever seen not even a protest of 100 people.
Right.
And you brought out 700. So tell us a little bit about how, I think that even shocked you.
It did. It was very shocking. Well, we thought, okay, we're going to do this. I thought we'd maybe have 50 people. So I put it on Mobilize, and man, all of a sudden I have 200 people, and I'm thinking, we don't know how to handle that. That's too many people. So I cut off the signups at 200. So we showed up, and this, at 9 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning. We already had, 50, 75 people in the parking lot waiting for us. And we did luckily get law enforcement to take us seriously, that we knew we were going to have around 200 people. So it was outstanding that we ended up with hundreds of people, and everybody just kept pouring in. I don't know where they came from. Luckily, the No Kings group is very organized, and they have got a map. And so if you bring up the map and you click on the neighborhood where it's near you, you can find the protests. And so I think people did that and just drove over and joined in. And I thought it was great. We did it again on Labor Day. We didn't have 600 people, but we certainly had close to 75, which is
I counted over 75.
Labor Day. That was Labor Day Monday. So it's good. And I noticed that the people driving by now, we get a lot less negative response and a lot more positive responses to our presence.
The last video that I did with you all, which was Thursday, I pointed out that I was there probably 35, 40 minutes. For the 35 or 40 minutes that I spent over there, I saw one finger and dozens of horns.
Yeah.
So, it was a very positive experience. But I want to say out something else that your group brought out. I remember as we walked on that, right after the No Kings, you did another one that brought out a little over 75 people. And what happened is you got a couple of Gen Zs. And I remember one specifically that I interviewed that told me, I was driving over to Starbucks. I saw you guys out there, and I said, let me come out there and join you. So that is what, for the audience, that is what's infectious. A lot of people that are feeling despair right now, when they see other people taking actions, they feel empowered to do that as well. And that's what Cindy's group has been doing. And that is letting people feel more empowered. And that is what they are doing. Now, they did an action that they put together that actually impressed me. I wish I could have gone out with there, but I had other commitments.
It was kind of fun.
It was kind of fun, according to you guys. But let me set it up here.
Great time.
Everybody know who Ghislaine Maxwell is from the Epstein files, right? Well, they moved her to Texas. And I got a call from you when they moved her to Texas. Did you see what happened? Yes, ma'am. We need to go out there and say, yes, ma'am. And I thought Cindy was playing.
No way. I don't play.
Cindy was not playing. Tell us what you guys did.
Well, I have what she calls herself my sous chef. My sous chef, Vicky, said about a month ago when they moved Maxwell, she said, let's take a field trip. I mean, we're retired. So we drove up to Bryan on, I think it was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, no problem. So we wanted to go on a reconnaissance and see what the facility looked like, see where we could set up if we wanted to have a protest. And we ended up talking to the neighbors and drove all around the facility, talked to the goon squad that they've got guarding the place on our tax dollars, I must say. They all look like they just stepped out of a group of ICE guys. They're all in tactical gear and they've got sniper rifles and all kinds of scary weapons. And they're there to intimidate you when you come up to the front gate. So we did all of that a month ago and came back and said, well, okay, we've got all this other stuff that we're doing. So we kind of put this on the back burner, but we decided Vicky had to do this and I have to support my cohort. She said, let's go protest. So we organized a pretty quick action with some people we'd never met before. But we got ourselves in touch with the folks that live in that area, in the Bryan College Station area, as well as someone from Fort Worth and a group from Conroe and our group. And we went up Saturday. We met at a place we decided we'd meet at, and we marched on over to the facility with all of our signs and our bullhorns and our cowbells. We're known for our cowbells. And did a couple-hour protest. And the guards were horrible. They had to block the entrance because they thought for some reason that a crew of 25 people were going to rush the gates, Please. We did not. We stayed on the other side of the street and stayed on public property. So we did that for 2 hours. It was cool. We had a good time. We went back to our cars, and I said to these folks that came up with us, I said, let me give you a tour of the backside of the facility where all the interesting stuff is. So let's go back, and I'll drive you around the facility because this is where the scary stuff is. The front's pretty. We get in the car. We're driving up to the facility, and there are over 100 people sitting outside at the picnic tables. We realized, it's Saturday. That's when they do visitations from family members. They had sequestered all of these people inside the prison until we left. And then they let them out to sit and visit at the picnic tables. So one person had left the facility during the protest and gave us the finger. And I thought, why are they flipping us off? Because everybody else was supportive. Well, we realized in hindsight that we had disturbed their Saturday visits by being there. So they put them in lockdown until we left. So I took that as a bonus, a secret bonus, that we made such good trouble. These people couldn't visit with their families, which I am sorry for. But you know what? You've got her in there with you, and this is what you should expect, because we don't want her in a quote unquote minimum security prison. Now that they have 12-foot fences with razor wire and black privacy screens around the facility, as well as these tactically armed goons, it is not a minimum security prison anymore. So, yeah, I thought it was very successful. Now,
I don't know if you realize something that you told me. You told me that they had the place in lockdown, which means they probably are monitoring Mobilize and these other applications that are setting up organized actions at these places. So, I mean, That is if they could lock down that quickly and then lock back, and they probably also knew that it was only lasting 2 hours because you stated that in the mobilize. So
Well, we let the Bryan people let the cops know that we were going to be out there. We do try to inform law enforcement.
right.
Maybe we shouldn't, but we did.
Oh, no. Actually, let me tell you, for the way that you guys are operating, I am not going to make any comment. There are different ways of protesting, and you all are protesting is in a very organized fashion that I think is needed, because that brings a certain subset of the base to come in and work with you. Mm-hmm. Some will work in a more clandestine kind of a way. Right. And again, the protest is supposed to be done in a lot of different ways. Let me see. Egberto, Michael Greenman from MTA here. We need to talk. Only 2 of reps who sponsor HJR 54 have done anything to promote 54. Okay, we'll talk, Michael. We'll talk. But yes, Cindy. So I want to tap on this, people. Those that are listening to us. Cindy is a small business owner here in Kingwood that understands that the country is going in a wayward direction. And while she has told me many a times, sometimes that feeling of dread and despair that comes over sometimes, the solution that she picked was going out there and doing something. There are millions of Cindys throughout this country. Think about that. Millions of Cindys throughout this country. Think about what happens if every person, not only retired folk, because she has more flexibility to work and do this to do this sort of a stuff. But some of us have a flexibility of a day off in the week or that sort of stuff. We have many ways that we can get together to make this change in the country right now. I mean, I'm from Central America. I understand what these types of plights are. And I can tell you that a lot of people have never seen this in America. This is new. Cindy, and I think I've told you this before. This is very new for America. This is like a virus we have never seen before.
No, they don't understand what's happening. And I don't understand how people are sleepwalking through what is going on even today. They are sleepwalking.
Well, this silent takeover, including what we saw yesterday as the memorial to a new god,
I did not watch it.
Dangerous. I didn't watch it. I watched excerpts of it. We have to. People are going to have to show. They wanted to make that big showing that showed the amount of people that are out there supporting this person. Right. The reality is, the good people way outnumber those others that have all those bad isms. Go ahead, Cindy.
I myself that every single day.
Yeah, it's the truth. Most of in fact, even here in Kingwood, that we consider super right-wing MAGA conservative, it isn't as much as you think. It is just that people are scared.
Yes.
People, there's a lot of peer pressure, even among adults here. I sit down and speak to people that we sit down and have a very civil conversation, and they agree with, 80% of what we're talking about. And if they see me come into that place, their space, and they're with their friends, I can see the dread in their face.
Sure.
Please don't talk to me. Please don't. And I get it. And I give them that space, right? It's a peer pressure thing. But what you're doing, Cindy, with bringing people together, gives people more, give people the license that they can be who they really are, because most people are good. Go ahead, my sister.
Well, I just wanted to say, too, going back to Camp Bryan, what I hoped, and I'm not sure it will happen, but the groups that are more local to the prison there, like 20-minute drive instead of a 2-hour drive, that they would start doing this every Saturday, even if they only do it for an hour. It's disruptive enough for those prison guards and the visitors. But the neighborhood really appreciated it. We were in the neighbor's front yard. They didn't care. One woman came out and said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see you guys here." Everyone who drove by, except for the one car, was supporting our presence at the prison. They don't want her there either. They don't want these people patrolling their neighborhood 24/7 in these federal vehicles with their guns. Okay. So I'm thinking, why aren't they doing this every Saturday? I can't do it every Saturday.
No,
It's
but
too far.
Cindy, and that's what I'm saying. Things always need a catalyst. In
Right?
activism, you always need a catalyst. Maybe you guys need to do it another couple times. And as you're doing it, and as we start showing people what was done, where it was done, because you wrote a very extensive blog that I'm going
Right.
to turn into a summary and cross post to the Indivisible Kingwood website. I haven't done that yet, but you wrote a blog. As more people see that, because the one thing we know is that the mainstream media is not going to pick it up.
No,
Why?
we sent out media advisories for this, and no, nobody cares.
Well, here's the thing. You guys have been too successful. If you were not successful, the media would have been out there because they would be there to show Indivisible Kingwood came and they could muster 2 people.
Okay.
Okay, that is a kind of vibe that you get. But you're too damn successful. I guarantee you, the mainstream corporate-driven media won't cover you. But anyway, Cindy, we are coming close to that time. So give some advice to folks, because folks aren't just going to listen to this on the live. There are going to be many people that are going to listen to this offline. How do you suggest that they, let's see, Natalie Lago says, please post her blog on your Substack. I absolutely will post the blog on the Substack, and she'll probably post it on hers as well, but the more the merrier. But yes, Cindy, there are a lot of folks that are going to watch this. Thousands are going to watch this after the fact. Why don't you tell folks, again, I know you sort of alluded to it in the beginning, why they need to get out there and how can they get out there?
Well, they need to get out there because people need to see you and they need to know that this is unacceptable. We are marching towards complete authoritarianism. Today, they don't want to publish the consumer, whatever it is, index, like how much money we've been spending. They totally said, oh, we're not going to publish that. So they are withholding data because it's ugly data. Badly reflects on them. You've got to be active. You have to speak out. And if you are not the type of person who wants to be the leader, you don't have to be a leader. You can find groups. There are not just indivisible groups. There's the 50-51 movement. There's Move On. There's so many groups. We do try to cross over and work with one another. Find a group that is busy and get yourself involved. We have things that can be done by people who are introverts. You can write postcards to swing states like Virginia and Pennsylvania. California, get those guys to support Newsom's endeavor to be able to redistrict California. You can do that from the comfort and safety of your living room. If you are a loud person and you're an ex-school teacher like me, you can get out on the street with a megaphone and a cowbell, and you know how to organize human beings. And that's what we do as teachers. We organize humans. We teach them what they need to know so they can go out and organize themselves. So yeah, come and hang out with us. We'll teach you how to do it. And then you can take that away to your neighborhood.
Well, look, Cindy, I want to thank you. But beforehand, I want to give folks a little bit of news to show the urgency of what you're doing. Just today alone, or this weekend alone, no longer can reporters go into the Pentagon and report the news. They have to be given permission for what, or this is the new rule. They have to be given permission on what they can report. What does that tell you? The government can do as it's pleased militarily. Right. Think about what that means. And we have, of course, Jimmy Kimmel is just a tip of the iceberg. Jimmy Kimmel was not the goal.
No.
The goal was to have all comedians and everybody fear what they say, because just maybe the administration will force your free press to behave, to not say things as they should.
I want to say one thing about
Go ahead, please.
Pentagon mess with the press. They have gone out and blown up yet another Venezuelan vessel in the Gulf of Mexico. Hello. what is this all about? This is illegal. If the press isn't in and they aren't getting wind of any of this, what else are they going to do?
Exactly. So, folks, again, we all have to engage.
Yeah.
I want to commend Cindy and her court with Indivisible Kingwood. And like Cindy said, there are a lot of other groups. There's Swing Left. There is MAD. There is Mothers Against Gun. I mean, there are a lot of things that you can participate in. But the most important thing is participate and engage. Cindy, thank you so kindly for spending some time with Egberto Off the Record.
Thank you.
All of our country's problems, from polarization to ignorance on domestic and international issues to a complete misunderstanding of our economic and healthcare systems, are a direct result of a derelict mainstream media that too often bend over backwards to support corporate or bought politicians' wants as opposed to the people's needs for real information to make their lives better. Independent media is the only solution to inform truthfully and factually. Why? Because our loyalties are to you, the ones who fund us with small dollar contributions and subscriptions. Please consider supporting our independent media platforms by subscribing to our Egberto Off the Record newsletter at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Again, that is politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. It's an investment that pays incalculable dividends.